So we're in Jonah chapter 1, verses 4 through 10. We're going to talk about the storm at sea. But the Lord hurled a great wind upon the sea, and there was a mighty tempest on the sea, so that the ship threatened to break up. Jonah 1:4 illustrates God's sovereignty and power through his forceful intervention, as seen in the Hebrew verb tol, meaning hurled. It conveys this idea of deliberate and forceful action. Also, ruach, which is in Hebrew the great wind, and gadol and tempest reflect this overwhelming chaos that God uses to disrupt Jonah's flight. It is clear that Jonah is causing his own chaos by disobeying the king of the natural world, obviously God, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. This personification of the ship threatening to break up intensifies the drama, emphasizing the storm's divine origin. The word threaten comes from the Greek or the Hebrew word resh-ayin-shin, which means to shake, to quake, or to tremble. It indicates an intense shaking or violent movement. This is not merely a rough sea, it is an overwhelming storm. Now, in the ancient Near East, the sea symbolized chaos and divine power, making the storm a clear sign of God's displeasure and pursuit of Jonah. The mythological texts of the ancient Near East, such as the Enuma Elish, the Ugaritic epics, and Egyptian cosmology, depict gods who struggle to establish order by battling chaotic forces like Tiamat, Yam, or Apophysis. These myths portray deities as limited beings engaging in conflict to assert their power and often reliant on victory to maintain order. In stark contrast, the God of Jonah is not depicted as one of many deities in conflict with chaos, but as the supreme and sovereign creator who effortlessly commands all of creation, including the chaotic sea. Unlike the gods of mythology, who often reflect human frailty and limitations, the God of Jonah demonstrates complete authority, hurling the storm with precision and purpose to accomplish his divine plan. I want to show you this video called When Mercy Found Jonah. It's a cinematic Bible story, very quick, short.
In the depths, mercy found him. For even here, God heard his cry.
So this portrayal underscores God's power, his divine nature, the monotheistic conviction that the God of Israel is not bound by or in contest with chaos, but it is the ultimate master. God is using it as a tool to reveal his will and direct his prophet Jonah. Also, when Jonah mentions that he serves the God who created the land and the sea, this God is not confined to a specific area. The Lord of the Hebrews is not a territorial God like many of the false gods that were worshipped in the ancient Near East. It's a paradigm shift that Jonah said he worships the God who made both the sea and the land, encompassing all of creation. This moment parallels other biblical accounts of God's authority over nature, such as the parting of Red Sea in Exodus 14, the sailor's cry for deliverance in Psalm chapter 107, and Jesus calming the storm in Matthew chapter 8, where nature again submits to God's divine will. As you recall, when Jesus calms the storm, they proclaim, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him." Moreover, Peter said that he was a sinful man when he witnessed Jesus calm the storm because his faith was weak. He should have felt secure in the boat with the God who created everything, but of course we all struggle with this in our everyday lives. We should never really fear anything in life when we know the one who created life. While Jonah was being disobedient, unlike Peter, Jonah knew that the Lord was in complete control of this situation and that the raging sea was a direct result of his disobedience. Now, we're going to talk right here, Jonah praying in the belly of the great fish, realizing very well that he was hiding from God.
Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice.
So we see that God heard his voice out of the belly of Sheol. Sheol is the word for hell, or basically a place of pain and suffering. And he was praying out of the belly of the whale in this intense issue going on with his disobedience. Jonah 1:5 also offers significant grammatical and syntactical insights. The last thing I wanted to mention was that all the sailors were afraid. He uses that verb, were afraid. And it's commonly used in the Hebrew narrative to denote consecutive actions. We will continue this study in the next chapter moving forward. Thank you so much for listening today.